Hey everyone, welcome in to another daily editorial here on the KE Report. In this daily editorial, I'm getting an update from Novo Resources, traded on the TSX under the symbol NVO, and on the OTCQX under the symbol NSRPF. I am chatting with the executive co-chairman, Mike Spreadborough, as well as Kas De Luca, GM of Exploration for Novo Resources. We are going to follow up on most recent news release that came out on October 27th. This highlighted some of the early on results from this aircore drilling, a long trend from Hemi gold deposit. Now, this is all at an area called the Becher area within the Egina District. Now, there's a lot of shallow holes that were undertaken in this aircore drilling. From my understanding, it's really to see what's undercover at this target and what warrants follow-up drilling. Mike, let's bring you on first just to provide an overview of this drill program. It's going to be over 30,000 meters. Already you have about half of that completed, a little over half of that completed. Take us through the strategy here of using this aircore drill, looking for mineralization, and what kind of mineralization you are looking for, please.
Thanks, Corey. So listeners might remember that we've got over 10,000 square kilometres of really prospective gold tenements in the northern part of Western Australia. So within this gold area, we've been focusing on what we call the Egina area. It's kind of in the centre of our area. And at the very northern part of that Egina district is what we call the Becher area. We're very excited about Becher. It's literally very, very close to a project called Hemi, which is an Australian ASX-listed company called De Grey. Now, they have 10 million ounces, so it's a huge deposit, and we're literally 2 to 10 kilometres away from that deposit. So notwithstanding neurology, we like Becher, and Kaz will talk about it in a minute, because of the geological setting. It's very attractive for more gold mineralisation. We're looking for a big system, over 8 kilometre wide aircore cover that we're doing. And really the focus is looking for that indicators on where we focus the drilling going forwards in 2023. So exciting program for us. It's our biggest key priority, and we're very optimistic based on the results that we've seen from the very first part of the results.
So, Kaz, let's bring you in here because the headline hole here is 20 meters at 0.67 grams per ton gold, pretty much right at surface. It says from 0 meters. We also have some other results ranging from 6 meters up to 12 meters, grades all around, let's say, 0.2 grams per ton gold, some a little higher, some a little lower. What are you looking for in these results in terms of warranting follow-up drilling then?
Hi, Corey. Yeah, great to be with you. The reason that we're doing aircore drilling is because it is such a large area and we do have so many targets that need to be tested. Aircore is the simplest and most cost and time effective way of testing all these targets. So the pattern that you see in the figures that are in the release just shows that these first pass lines are at around 600 metre line spacing. So we're covering very large trends to be able to identify any mineralisation. And for us, in the aircore, anything over 0.1 of a gram, we consider quite anomalous in terms of gold mineralisation. So to have one of our first holes from surface even reproduce grades of over half a gram over 20 metres is very exciting. So that's certainly one area that we've got highlighted straight away for RC follow-up, deeper drilling follow-up.
So Mike already outlined, too, the potential correlation that this has to De Grey's project and that Hemi gold deposit. How do these relate early on? I realize it's really early on for this type of drilling compared to this Hemi deposit, but early on, are you seeing some similarities?
Certainly. I mean, the style of mineralisation, the style of alteration, we're seeing gold in the sedimentary package, which are very much part of the De Grey system at Hemi and at Withnell. We're seeing some of the same rock types, and we're pretty certain from looking at our high resolution geophysical data sets that we've just recently completed, we're pretty certain that these structures actually run through to all the way to Hemi and then all the way back down to our property at Becher. So we think the styles of geology and the styles of mineralisation are indeed very similar to what's been reported in the De Grey Hemi targeting.
So you even mentioned that these are very wide-spaced holes. You're looking for a big deposit here. Where will the drilling continue? Figure 7 in this news release outlines it at least early on, but take us through that strategy of continuing to step out on wide spacing.
Certainly. I mean, in the first instance, we obviously have some priorities that our geologists have developed from their work using all the data sets. We use the geophysics that I just talked about, but we also use historical information from previous workers over years and years and years. There are big soil geochemistry anomalies as well that we see and that we want to test directly. So this area that you're seeing at the moment with all the line spacings are really that first 30,000 metres of drilling. We'll have additional drilling next year, both aircore and RC. But initially, the aircore will be infill on closer spaced lines across what we think are good anomalies, and also step outs a little bit further, because as we're doing all this work, we're collecting geological information and we're improving and expanding our ideas about other target areas. So it'll continue next year, and I'm sure we'll have 2 rigs out there pretty quickly, as soon as weather permits and that type of thing, because we are leading into a cyclone sort of season at the moment up in the Pilbara.
Let's talk about some of that follow-up drilling. Because you are the GM of exploration, and because even this news release does say that deeper RC drilling will commence in November of this year, what is that program going to look like? How do you properly test this target?
So at the moment, our RC rig, which we've had working up on our Purdy's North projects for the last 7 weeks, they're about to finish, I think, by the end of this week. So by early next week, the first follow-up holes on aircore drilling at Becher will be commenced. So that'll be mid-November, I guess. Oh no, so 2nd week in November by then. So we'll have an RC drill rig following up the anomalies we just talked about in the aircore drilling. And to do that, that will be what we call fences. So lines of a few holes or several holes that go deeper underneath the anomalies we've already identified in aircore. So there's that part of the progress. And then the other part is areas where there's a small amount of rock that actually outcrops at surface. And we've sampled these rocks. We know there's gold in them. And so there is some direct targeting that we will also do whilst we've got the RC rig out at Becher doing the aircore follow-up. There are a series of deeper drill fences that we'll also do, testing direct targets that we're pretty confident about as well. Because both the historical rock chip sampling and the soils geochemistry particularly, and you'll see that in some of our previous releases, really warrant deeper drill testing straight up. So we're coming at this from more than one direction, and certainly we'll have the RC rig up right there. We've got work for it right up until the middle of December, when we generally take a break over summer.
Okay, so are you talking about this Nunnery North target that is already drill ready, and when that RC rig is going to move from that Becher area, it's going to move to Nunnery North? It's highlighted in this news release, but give us some more information here.
Yeah, so Corey, we expect to be Nunnery North kind of drilling around about, let's say, April. As we've done in the release, it's an extremely exciting soil anomaly. It's about 1.4 kilometres long. As we put in the release, we've seen surface rock chip samplings of 8 grams, 7 grams, really exciting part. And, if you look at some of our corporate presentations, we've been put pictures of some of the rocks with the beautiful gold that we've seen here. So it's really exciting. It's 80 kilometres south of Becher. Pretty hard to access, I must admit. Our people get there by helicopters at the moment, but we do need to pass heritage survey. So we'll do heritage survey in February, March-ish, when it gets a bit cooler, and from then on we'll hope to go drilling. So number one priority, hit Becher really, really hard, and Kas and our expert geological team will hit Nunnery probably end of Q1, early Q2 next year as our second primary gold target.
So, Mike, what's Newsflow going to look like? It sounds like still a lot of drill results from this aircore drilling, but take us through what investors can expect.
Yeah, so we're going to provide monthly updates on the Becher release. And importantly for everyone, we haven't set a date yet, but we hope to have a webinar towards the back end of November or first week of December. So there'll be a 1-hour exploration webinar hosted by Kas and her geological team. So that'll provide a good overview of all of our exploration targets leading into 2023 across that Pilbara tenements of 10,000 square kilometres.
So, Mike, also update us, please, in terms of cash in the bank to continue on with all this drilling and then the RC drilling.
Yeah, so we are in a very good position. End of September, we reported around $65 million Canadian in the bank. So we're well funded to support the team's work going forwards, and that puts us in a very, very exciting position. And we just all need to cross our fingers that gold keeps holding up its price, but we think we're in a very good position to really provide shareholder value moving into next year.
So, Mike, before I let you out of here, I want you just to remind everybody of this kind of renewed focus at Novo, back to more of an exploration company, and also considering that even these results at Becher, these are some of the first holes, I believe, that have ever really been drilled in the area. So how should investors look at Novo right now?
Yeah, definitely from the path that we started mid last year, where we pivoted the exploration team away from just a pure conglomerate focus, but looking across that tenements at all of commodities. So as we've reported, we are following up on a base metals target. Sounds a bit different for a gold company, but we think there's value in there to find what is actually in that kind of nickel target, and that will give us an opportunity maybe to sell it or joint venture. But our exploration focus is really gold. Becher and Nunnery, our first gold targets. At the moment, the team are working up other targets, which you'll see us start drilling again Q2 next year in the East Pilbara or maybe even down in South Pilbara area. So very much we've rapidly re-energized our focus on exploration. We've got wonderful potential and we're moving forwards. It's really, really exciting. We've got the best land position in Australia. So good position for us going forwards.
All right, Mike, Kas, thank you again for this update. I will post a link to the Novo website and the news section so everyone can read over that most recent news release. In full disclosure, I am a shareholder of Novo Resources. I'll be following up as more drill results are released and any other news that comes out. And please, everybody, if you have any follow-up questions for Mike and his team, please email me, fleck@kereport.com. Mike, Kas, thank you again for your time. Please keep me up to date on future news.
Thanks very much, Corey.
Thank you.